Today, we wanted to do something a little different. We wanted to look up what is leadership through TikTok. Let's start with the first one.
Leadership to me is being a servant. You have to be humble enough to listen and brave enough to move first. Leadership isn't barking orders from the top. It's picking up the broom when no one's watching. It's staying calm when everyone else is panicking. It's asking, what do you need, before asking, did you deliver? Real leaders don't need titles. They don't lead to be seen. They lead to serve. You want to lead a team? Be the one who listens deeper. Be the one who acts quicker. Be the one who takes the hit, gives the credit, and keeps building. Because leadership is not about being right. It's about doing right even when it's hard. Anyone can speak. But leaders, they listen first, move second, and lead by example.
All right. I mean, this is, again, a live reaction. Never watched her before, never watched this video. And I have to say, she pretty much summarized as well, in my opinion, what a leader is. I will have to agree that being a leader is very much about putting other people first, your team first, making sure they're successful, they have the resources and tools to be successful is going to be your top priority. I will also have to say that the way she talked about leadership here definitely is within a couple of our leadership, I would say, styles that we mentioned in our past videos. The democratic, the servant leadership style, what she's talking about is predominantly those two leadership styles. I would say it isn't the only style of being a great leader. So not necessarily being a leader has to be only serving. Now, do I think that makes a huge benefit in building trust and getting things done? Yeah, 100%. Sometimes being a leader, you do have to give directions. Sometimes being a leader, you have to be fast. You got to be able to make the decisions. Sometimes you may not be able to just serve your team. Got to put a company first, because without a company, you may not have a team. So, what do you think, Spiros?
Yeah. Yeah, I liked it. I loved it. I think all her feedback was great. It's hard to like nitpick this because we don't have full context in that entire interview to say. But she pointed out things like you said, servant, being calm, leading the team, listening first. She did say a leader acts quicker. That's the only one I might nitpick a little bit. The leader doesn't necessarily act quicker. The leader acts, depending on the situation. But I'm nitpicking. Look, I think she deserves a follow, in my opinion. I mean, that was really good feedback, and any leader would benefit from hearing this.
Awesome. Let's go to the next one.
I think the concept of leadership is one of the most misunderstood concepts in business, quite frankly. We think about leadership as a rank or a position, like I'm in leadership. The question is, are you a leader? Leadership is the awesome responsibility to see those around us rise. It is a skill set that needs to be learned and practiced. Most of us, the way we have achieved our leadership position or rank is because we were good at the job. The problem is that's not your job anymore. When we're super junior, the organizations we work for give us tons of training how to do our jobs. Some of us go to college on how to do our job. If you're an architect, you have to go to school to learn how to be an architect. And if you're really good at your job, they'll promote you until you reach a position where you're now responsible for the people who do the job you used to do. But they don't teach us how to do that. And so the reason we get managers and not leaders is because we don't get taught how to do our new job called leadership.
I think this is an interesting one. I would say I agree from a perspective of leadership is not a title. In one of our other segments, we talked about you can be a leader without the title. It is more of the reason behind why you want to become a leader that matters. Because in your entire career, you can be a leader and just never have a title, and you can be fine and happy with that. Or your why is I have to have that title. Now, he mentioned that leadership is misunderstood. I don't know if leadership is misunderstood. I just think there is not enough resource or information for people to understand what leadership is. And in general, that word itself has so many meanings depending on each individual. It's, again, perspective on what leadership is to you. Each person is going to have a different definition or a different perspective on what being a leader means. And that can be influenced by the situation, the size of a company, the team I lead, the environment I lead. That can all be influenced. So I will agree with him, as in the leadership isn't just a title. So,
Yeah. And now again, I'll preface, this is a clip, so we don't have full context. So maybe there's more to it that we don't hear. That being said, he did point out some good points that I'll definitely agree with. Leadership is a skill that needs to be learned. Makes a point about it that we don't practice it. Leadership is not even taught, period, for most people, right? And it does make a good point to say a lot of people are taught their job and then they get into leadership and then they're not taught leadership. That's definitely a problem in the entire world of leaders, right? When you become a leader, the amount of leadership training they have is minimal, if any, right? For most companies. So yeah, so I agree with all those points. Those are very valid points. Leadership is something that you do need to practice. You first need to learn it and learn it from good sources. One part that I have a little friction on here is leadership is misunderstood. I don't think so. We're not reinventing how leadership works, right? Leadership has been around for thousands of years. We have leadership fundamental concepts that exist. So I think the main challenge with a lot of people out there is they haven't been taught how to lead properly. So I think overall, this is great. He's got good feedback on here. But to me, again, it's not about most people were never taught how to practice it. For me, it's most people were never taught how to lead, period. They go from being a phenomenal sales associate, and then they get promoted to sales manager, and now you're in a completely different field. And if you don't have enough training, you're basically in a brand new job.
yeah, agreed. Well, I mean, thank you so much for watching our segment today. Let us know if you like these type of live reaction videos, and if there's any videos that you want us to watch and give you our feedback. Please don't forget to follow, like, and comment below, and we'll see you in our next segment.